Hey there, folks. It's Scott Hammond with 100% Humboldt with our special guests today, Heather and Steve. Hi.
Hi,
Hey there.
Scott.
How are you guys?
Doing great. Glad to
Plugging
be
along.
here.
First time we've ever had two guests in one room with me. It's scary.
You're very lucky.
Yeah.
Yes.
The pleasure is all mine. So Steve and I go way back 100 years ago. Stephen and I have been friends for a while, at least a couple of weeks, and I'm just so happy to have you here. Tell us quickly the Steve story, and
Gosh.
and we're coming to talk about Destination Humboldt, which we'll get to here, I'm sure, really quick. And then Heather, I want to hear your kind of short life story too.
Sure.
I'm definitely from Humboldt, born and raised. My parents actually live in the same house they moved into when I was 6 months old. So a lot of history here. Tried to leave when I was younger, and then we had kids and decided this is where we want to keep our kids. So been here ever since. Been in the financial space since I was 19. My business partner and I launched Eureka Payments. It's the only local credit card processing company 14 years ago this month.
Wow.
So that's our very short run there. My kids are all still here except for the one who's gone to college. So it's definitely lifers at this point.
Is she coming back? SOU?
He will be coming back. He's in his sophomore year studying cybersecurity. So his goal is to be able to work remote when he's done with school and move back here as well.
So you're 100% Humboldt. Sorry to overuse that already, but
I'd expect nothing less.
it won't be the first or the last time, folks.
Nice
Heather,
branding. Yeah.
Yeah, good branding. Have you heard about 100% Humboldt? Hey, tell me about the Heather story.
Sure.
Welcome, and you're from Humboldt.
I am. Heather's story also begins in Humboldt. Although I did leave to seek my fortune, and now I'm back.
Like so many.
Yes. No, I grew up here. Went to what is now Cal Poly. I have to call it that because my husband works there, but
Formerly known as
HSU.
Prince, the artist known as Prince.
Yes. Started here in journalism and was a reporter, and went out and worked in a few other states. I've been gone for about 20 years, and I am now back
Welcome home.
with my family. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So tell us what you do. What's your vocation? I know it has to do with
Yes, I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate the product placement and the branding. Thank you.
Destination Humboldt.
Yes. So that's what I'm very excited about right now that Steve and I are working on together. Currently, I am the Chief Philanthropy Officer for Providence in Humboldt. And so we fundraise for local healthcare. Steve is our board chair at St. Joe's. And he and I, along with others, are working together on Destination Humboldt, which is our new initiative to bring access to healthcare to everyone in Humboldt.
Yeah. We talked about that a lot, the medical desert, and how it's hard to get good, consistent everything medical. And so what a welcome relief. And I think it's really important to talk about early, and my wife pointed this out the other night. This is not Providence necessary. You are a separate arm.
Well, we're part of Providence. We are the philanthropy arm of Providence.
Okay.
So the entire so we're part of the California division of Providence, and within that there's a philanthropy division, and that's what I'm part of, and I represent that in Humboldt County.
Gotcha.
So we are a department of the hospital of Providence St. Joseph Hospital and Redwood Memorial, and we fundraise in the community through events, through just donor one-on-one connections, and through getting the word out like this.
Right. And so this is really new in this. It's not new in the sense of philanthropy, but it's new in the sense of how you're doing it, the success with which you've done it. And I
think what's unique is the focus of what the dollars are being used for. So historically, we've gone out and looked for dollars for a specific project. It could be the Cancer Center, it could be the Heart Institute, the residency program, which are very narrow and very specific asks. So when Heather's talking to potential donors, this is what we're raising money for. It's a very narrow program or very focused program or a piece of equipment or something to that effect. And the new initiative gives us a lot more flexibility. It's a lot more broad. And the focus is on bringing it's helping with recruitment. So bringing additional practitioners to the area, which is really what we're lacking right now. Our inability to get appointments in a timely manner. That's what we hear the most, right? That's not for lack of facility. That's not for lack of equipment. It's lack of people. So nationally, there is a doctor shortage. And we, I think, are impacted even more here, being as rural as we are.
Oh, yeah.
So typical Humboldt, right? Whatever's happening nationally probably affects us a little bit deeper. So that's what Heather's working tirelessly to address.
Right on.
Thank you, Steve.
So if we cut to the chase, immediately people are going, how can I help? And I'm sure we'll get there again and again before we're through, but and I want to hear more about specifics about where the money goes. But if somebody wanted to help right now, how would they get more info? Just go online with Mr. Goog.
Sure. You can look up our foundation, our Providence St. Joseph Eureka Hospital Foundation.
Okay.
That's important because in the system there are other St. Joseph hospitals, and then also Redwood Memorial Foundation. So you're able to give online through our website. But also you can contact the hospital and be transferred to our department, to the foundation. We're also going to be doing, more community outreach like this in the coming year.
Good.
And just to let people know, it's recruitment and retention. We want to keep the doctors that we have here, and everyone that supports their practice as well. Nurses, scribes, techs, all of these people are necessary to have a successful practice.
So there's a website too, obviously. And can you give directly on the website? Like
yes,
PayPal,
on the foundation
Venmo?
website, yes. You
Oh,
can.
great. Okay. And learn more. Is there a Facebook page?
Not specifically for this program. We do have a Providence in Humboldt Facebook page that has hospital information, and we post this on there as well.
So if I have $1 million in my pocket, but I want to research, I can easily find it.
And then you can call Heather. She'd be happy to help you with that.
Yeah, you can call myself for $1 million, yes.
She'll come by and say hi. So tell me more about the successes you guys have seen together in this first couple of years. And
so we really launched this program 6 months ago. So it's still in its infancy, right? So it's not this long program that's been building and building and building. But what we found is we're able to utilize these funds to bring in new practitioners out of the gate. I don't think we expected it to be as successful as it is, which is great. It's a good problem to have. But also that also means Heather's job gets a little bit more intense trying to find more dollars to keep this coming. So do you want to talk about kind of what we've already drawn in?
Sure. So as Steve mentioned, we started in April. And we have already raised to this point $1.3 million for our initiative. And we've already planned that all out. We've already committed all of those dollars. We have signed on 12 new providers. 9 of those are physicians and 3 are nurse practitioners.
Wow.
And so we're very excited about that. The way that this is a little different than some recruitment in the past is it's not a relocation bonus or a signing bonus. With the best of intentions in the past, people have moved here before, they get their large bonus and then Humboldt's not for me and they leave.
Right.
So what we want to do is welcome people to be part of the community. So it's an agreement where the physician or provider has a contract with us to stay in practice for 5 years. And in turn, we do different types of assistance. We help with their loan repayment. Medical school loans are crazy now.
Oh, boy.
When people graduate from medical school, they might owe anywhere from $200,000 to even $500,000
or
more on specialty.
Yeah.
So we do loan assistance payments as part of that agreement over 3 to 4 years, and they work it off in a way, if you will, by practicing each year.
Wow.
So at the end of 5 years, we hope that we've sold them on us and that they stay.
And that really comes down to the community aspect of Humboldt, right? Is Heather can do this work along with everyone at Providence on the recruiting side. We can help fund part of that. But once they get here, we as a community, as we should all the time, need to wrap ourselves around these new people that are coming here.
That's great.
Especially those that we as a community rely upon. So these aren't, no offense to the retirees out there, but this isn't retirees that are moving here that are going to be consumers of services, right? These are those that we're relying on for providing the services that need to be consumed.
Right.
So I think as a community, once we get folks here, it really comes down to all of us in the business community, in the social world, education, all of those different pieces have to really wrap ourselves around these folks.
So embracing our new friends.
Absolutely.
And from a donor perspective, the flexibility that we have with this, the loan assistance is just one piece. So it's working with the recruiters to really talk to each person that they're trying to bring in.
Right.
What do you need? If for whatever reason they don't need loan assistance, great. Can we assist with housing?
Right.
We assist with tuition for your kids for school, or what do you need? And those are in the personal realm. And then on the clinical side is, hey, I'm interested in coming there, but I really need this assistant or this other person in my office. We may be able to help fund some of those people, the support team, to allow them to be successful here that they wouldn't come if they didn't have.
Right.
So the flexibility of it is what's unique.
I love the creativity part. It's out of the box. And I have a son, needs to be in a private high school. Oh, we know some people. We could probably make some arrangements and get you connected and help out. I love it.
That's something that we really, I think, excel at in Humboldt is those connections and helping each other.
And the cool thing is you brought that into this program to go, okay, education, entertainment, a vacation home down by Benbow. Well, we could work on it. Yeah, not a problem.
That might be a harder sell, but we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, we'll see.
It is still philanthropy. So
what we'll do is we'll just borrow your vacation home. And
there we
go.
Yeah, my big one.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a timeshare.
It's room 12 at the Benbow Inn. Got it.
It's a timeshare in Reno somewhere. So what I love about the 5-year thing is it gives me, the new doctor, and my beautiful young wife and 2 kids a chance to fall in love with Humboldt.
Exactly.
And vice versa. And I love that idea of, we might be an acquired taste. I don't know that everybody comes here and goes, hey, I'm going to stay here. This is Shangri-La and Maui, and maybe it's not. Maybe it's winter and it's raining crazy. But you fell in love with it during the summer because Arcadia was real slow and it was a quiet little town when the former HSU was done in session. Anyway, I digress a lot. So tell us more about what's afoot coming up. So you've had this 1.2 million. What are the goals going forward? Do you have some aspiring plan? Oh,
well, then we get into the intricacies of philanthropy, and all nonprofits do this. Work toward goals, and we of course would love to raise as much as possible to support this program. We were looking at this being a focus definitely for the next 2 to 3 years. I have kind of a personal lofty goal that I'd like to raise $10 million toward this project over the next 3 years. But what we do, it's a new program, so it's evolving, and it's part of the Philanthropy Foundation at the hospital. We're still fundraising, as needed. I mean, we didn't start that. That's been in existence for a long time, and this community has helped it tremendously. We have such a generous community here in Humboldt. This is just our current initiative because we sat and looked at what is the greatest need, because that's what philanthropy is supposed to meet. And the greatest need here for us is access to healthcare. Yeah.
And so I'm going to ask such a base, silly question that it's important to me. Why is that important? I live in McKinleyville with 9 kids. I just came here from Timbuktu and bought a home, and I work for the wind farm.
Yes, exactly.
Why is that? Why is good medical care important to the basis, the foundation of a good, healthy community?
Well, if we talk about, you mentioned the wind farm, if we talk about attracting new businesses and retaining the business leaders that we have here, people want to know that their workforce is going to be taken care of, that their families are going to be taken care of. So that's definitely a key factor and worth investing in, is ensuring that we have housing, education, and healthcare. Steve is fond of championing those 3 causes, and it's very important. And so we are working on healthcare because it's vital. It crosses all socioeconomic barriers. And it's just, everyone needs it.
So we retain seniors, retirees, maybe folks like me with advanced maturity. We also bring in middle-aged whoever. Wow. Sorry. And then young people, young couples.
Absolutely.
And you guys you've stayed here most of your life, but most Humboldt people that I've known, they left for a while, and maybe that wouldn't happen as much if there was core medical.
And I certainly don't want to shortchange what we have. We have incredible medical care here. I think that people are often surprised to learn the level of specialty care that we have. Our oncology, our orthopedics, they are really on par with much larger facilities. We have doctors here from Stanford, from UCLA, from Boston, Mass General, Johns Hopkins. I mean, those are
heavy hitters.
Yes. Yeah. Big names. And they train in those places, and they choose to come to Humboldt. They like the way of life here.
Love it.
They like the pace. And we have that. What we don't have is a lot of bench strength. So in the different specialties, we need to recruit more people. So our doctors are so dedicated and they're on call all the time. So so they need relief. So that's the specialty area. The other area we're really focused on is primary care. And that is where you have, 20 people in a room and say, who has had trouble getting into a doctor, and everyone raises their hand, right? And as we are here. And it's a challenge, and it's something that we all are working toward. I mean, no one at the hospital thinks that's not a challenge and not a problem. We're all trying to be creative and do our best. And so what we're doing that's different is just also bringing philanthropy into that.
Right. I think this is spot on. It's so tracking with everything that's needed. And so 100% of my dollars go to this, right? That's a pure straightforward gift.
Yes, in the different factors we have Women for Wellness. Actually, is a fantastic group, and that's just an example of 100% going toward an initiative. So our Women for Wellness members, which is open to women from all backgrounds, business, retirees. It's a wonderful group of women, and they would give $1,000 a year, and it's collective philanthropy, and then the group votes to benefit different areas within the program, like equipment. This might be needed, and they just
so kind of
are able to help supply that. Yes,
directed giving. So I'll ask Steve, and then you get the question. What's the biggest challenge to making that 10 million goal, that big hairy goal, happen?
I think that it's multifaceted. There's a lot of challenges in there. I would say one of the things that, I don't know if it's the biggest challenge, but it's one that I think is most in front of us pretty often, is just public perception, right? Like you said, if you ask how many people in this room have had trouble getting a doctor, getting an appointment, whatever the case may be, to Heather's point earlier is we have amazing healthcare in a lot of these specialty areas.
Yeah. And
I think that's under-recognized. Those that have an issue with the hospital or local healthcare are very loud, and they get platform.
Good point.
So I think public perception, not even just locally, even broader, is the perception is Providence is this large organization. They've got tons of money, and that's not necessarily the case.
Right.
It is a Catholic-based, mission-based health organization who loses a ton of money. We were just talking about what was the number from the first
yesterday
quarter?
We had an update that to date in 2023, just system-wide, we have had nearly $400 million go out in charity care, in unreimbursed care.
Wow.
Which is part of our mission, and we're very proud to carry on the tradition of our founding sisters. But just that's something to keep in mind when people look at it and assume, oh, it's a big health system and they have tons of money. That much money goes out the door,
right?
And we're not paid for that care.
This ain't Kaiser.
That we give.
Yeah.
It's not.
So I think that public perception piece plays into it. So for Heather to go out, even if we have a meeting with potential donors, inevitably part of that meeting is going to be that challenge of public perception and talking about what we have going on that's right. And what then we can get to, we peel that onion back, we can get to the core of what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
We're trying to bring more general practitioners. We're trying to bring more nurse practitioners. We're trying to bring more, caregivers across the board, but we got to get through that perception first.
That's a good one.
And I think a lot of, not just social media is a big part of it, because that's so easy to air your laundry and complain, right? And we all have that hospital experience. But I think even broader, it's much more challenging for us to get the positive stories out there as far as what our local healthcare is doing for our local community. We had an event earlier this week, just a small event, and we had a handful of potential donors there. And we had our radiation oncology doctor. And the first time, this is going to be all over the board, but the first time that I got involved in the philanthropy piece was when they had just installed the new linear accelerators in the cancer program. And I got to go tour the facility. That was the moment that I was sold on, like, we have amazing things going on here in healthcare. We just don't know it at large in the community. But in talking with that doctor, he was saying even recently, it's not uncommon for people to leave here for second opinions, right? Going to Stanford or wherever. But sometimes folks from here are going to Stanford first. They want that to be their first opinion because they're the best. How often Stanford is actually referring care back to Humboldt because we are on par with them. So these doctors, I mean, in the cancer world, in the radiation oncology department, they all know each other across the state because they're all involved in multiple cases that may cross lines, right? And frequently, the Stanford docs will be referring people back up here for care. And the UCSF. Wow. And that's a big deal. That really speaks to what we have going on here. But if you were in a room with the same 20 people who had a problem with the hospital, how many hands would go up when, do you understand the level of cancer care we have here?
Right.
It's just not out there. Obviously, that's good. We don't all want to have the experience where we were firsthand aware of that. But those that do really appreciate what's here, and those are the stories that I think we need to get out there more and more.
That's a good.
And I think and then that helps Heather on the philanthropy side. You know, if we have this going on here, man, we can increase that. We can build on that if we have the dollars to bring in the additional folks.
Love it. Good story.
And something else I would add just about local fundraising is, yes, we are part of a health system, but the funds raised here absolutely stay in Humboldt.
They stay here.
They are here for our community hospitals.
So legacy givers want to know that.
Absolutely. Yes.
If you started a plumbing or a construction business here and it's 10 generations and you want to give, it's going to stay.
Yes. Providing healthcare in Humboldt.
One might say 100% Humboldt.
One might.
One might. And one just did. So,
do we have a tally? Like, how do you ring every time you say it? I think
I probably should ring in on that. Yeah.
I think you should.
Yeah. and the facility's right here in Eureka, California. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very nice.
And then Fortuna's down this way. This is where Redwood Memorial.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
I said I would use the prop, and thanks, Nick, for keeping that up there. Appreciate it. Very useful. In case you're lost, that's Humboldt County, the size of Rhode Island. And the population, what do we have? $130?
I was going to say 125, 130.
Yeah. And it comes and goes, and it tends to. So here, we should have probably asked this first. Why do people want to live here? What makes this magical and amazing, or is it? And what? I'll start with you. Why did you keep your family here, and what do you like best about Humboldt? I guess
I mean, for me, my world is focused around my kids, my family, and that's really the core of it, right? My parents are still here. My kids have a desire to stay here. As long as we have things for them from a recreation standpoint, from an employment standpoint, now that my kids are adults, I can see my kids staying here. And probably if you ask each of them, it would probably be each for different reasons as well.
Sure.
But I think the community aspect that we have here is unique. We're definitely not city mindset, but we're not super small town mindset either. We kind of have that blend in between the two.
Yeah.
And I think part of that comes from those legacy folks that have been here forever. And then you have a lot of transplants coming in the last 5 to 10 years as well.
Sure.
And I think the integration of those two makes it a unique place from a community aspect.
The arts.
True. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you can find whatever it is that you're into. I think there's a piece of that you can find.
University, now known as Cal Poly, apparently.
Yes, thank you.
I went to Humboldt State, so don't worry about it. Good answer, though. No, you're right. I think it has built on itself and something wonderful and also problematic. There's certainly, maybe we'll go there in a minute, but so what's kept you in Humboldt? Why did you come back? And
I would say also family. And what I love about our community, and also I had not worked in healthcare prior to this job. I'd worked in nonprofit. But what I have really found is this family within the walls of the hospital.
Wow.
It is such a I mean, I came back for my family, but this job came open, and it's really been just transformational for me in my life to walk down the hall and see the impact of what you do every day is wonderful. And what we do in philanthropy is help, these people here provide for your loved ones and your family and provide care. And it's just an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
And it's extra special in Humboldt. This team is so dedicated. And I mean, healthcare workers everywhere are dedicated, but it really has a family feeling here. And I think that makes it special.
So we've had special need kids that have had to go to Shriners and UC Davis, and not for lack of care here at all. It's just, and the people that are part of that bigger family, that tribe, they're amazing. How do you do that 365 for a lifetime or career? It's like, I couldn't do that for a day, and I would just lose my mind. And these guys, what are you going to say? You can't say enough. I think you both touched on something that's really key to my heart after traveling to Amsterdam and watching people who are European and just not very friendly. It wasn't me, folks. It was just the culture. And I respect that. But being a connector and a relationship person, you have that in spades here. You have people, and it's really highlighted to me that you could walk down the street and say, "Hey, Steve, what's up?" And I might not even know Steve. And
That's why I tell my kids you can never get away with anything around.
Yeah.
Here.
Right.
So don't even try.
Everybody
Small
knows.
town. You live it's small enough. And that's really true, that people are super friendly, and you might not know the person at the dinner across from you, but they're just friends you haven't met yet. And that's by and large true. It's not 100%, of course, but I like that about us. Go team.
I agree.
100% Humboldt. Wait, I did it again.
Ding. Can I ring the bell?
Okay, let's do the bell. You're right.
I love it. Yep.
Okay. First question. This is all about favorite things in Humboldt. So, Steve, tomorrow, for real, you get a whole day off, and you can go anywhere, do anything with unlimited budget.
You're off tomorrow?
I am.
Oh, sorry.
You might be.
Heather and I are drinking tomorrow.
High five. So you can do anything you want in Humboldt. Budget's not really even a consideration. What do you go do on your free day?
Honestly, I know you're looking for like a just basic answer.
To be honest.
No, you don't.
It depends on who's available. Honestly, it really depends, because my world revolves around my kids, my family, and then my extended family, which goes beyond just my kids.
Right.
We joke that I have part-time children, right? So my world is I spend a lot of time with high school and young adults, kind of just pouring into them in different ways. Yeah. So first thing I would do, I'm not one to sit at home. I'm not a sit still kind of guy. I get a day off. I'm just going to chill at home. 10 minutes in, I'm like, all right, I'm bored. Who am I going to call? Who's available? So I think it's a matter of, honestly, it's not even a budget thing. It's spending time with people within my different circles. And there's lots of small little circles that would interact or intersect each other. But gosh, as far as like destination to go to, where most of my pockets of individuals, when we hang out, it's food and wine. That's, pick a restaurant, pick a winery or 5, and that's where you can find us. It's
funny how that R&R that connection can happen in that circle. And so you might have multiple meetings in a day, multiple in your free day.
Tastings, meetings.
Yeah. I think, anyway, that was around 11 in the morning at Amador, I think, if I remember.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
I would like to clarify, I was not present. I am on the clock working.
There you go. Yeah, I was too. Well, maybe not. So, no, I like that, because I think that's part of what I would do with my day is like, how many lunches can I have? And the answer is not that many, but
I think that here's the shortened answer, that it doesn't matter, as far as destination, it doesn't matter where I'm going, it's who can I spend the time with.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
Oh, that's so nice.
And you might manage to find an amazing view from the top of Ingomar.
Sure.
Or just on the bay somewhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pick a place.
Jody and I have discovered our date night, COVID date night, and you've heard this. You probably don't know. You might not know this. So we have a Honda Odyssey. We drive it to Scenic Drive, Camel Rock. It's 5 minutes from McKinleyville. Why didn't we know this before COVID? Super cheap date. And we pop up with the picnic basket that we might have some Dick Taylor chocolate and a grid bottle of wine, some picnic stuff. And
Sponsored by.
Oh, I wish. You're welcome, you guys. They're right here in Eureka, by the way, in case waterfront.
Thanks for the map.
Yeah. They have a good mocha now that's quite good. Oh, I digress.
Yes.
So that's our picnic spot. Thank you, COVID. Thank you, America, but also connection point. And there's a lot of places to do that that have great beauty for maybe no money. Sit on the bay, whatever. So your day off, tell us. Wait, good answers. Thank you. You won a prize.
You won a prize. Excellent. Steve and I are a little competitive. So all the time.
A prize.
I'm not competitive. I just don't like to lose.
Oh, nice. If you're not first or last there, Ricky Bobby. What do you do?
Funny.
So you get a day off tomorrow. Heather, do whatever you want, unlimited budget. Just call it out. Where do you go? What do you do?
Okay, so I have 2. One would kind of be a self-indulgent spa day on my own, just because I talk a lot with a lot of people. No, but I really love what Steve said, and I think that just connections with family. My sister's here. We talk every day. I have one here and one in San Francisco, and we're best friends. And I really value that.
Nice.
It means a lot to me. My husband and my daughter, we like to go out to eat places and walk around and just enjoy, being here. The ocean, when I was away for 20 years and landlocked, I missed the ocean terribly. So I absolutely love, going to the beach and just the amazing, aura of that. So
I had a good friend that we just talked this week, and he said, just knowing that I haven't been to the ocean for a bit, but knowing that it's there or driving by it is like this. So back to Amsterdam, it's landlocked and it's flat and whatever. But I really miss the ocean because we live in McKinleyville and you can look over Scenic Drive or Trinidad or Palm Beach. And it's like, oh, this is awesome. Or I can hear it and experience it from a distance. So it's, there's therapy. I forgot the word he used. Just kind of knowing that it's there is really important. Also part of our community.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm actually very proud. I am working on converting my very, very city boy husband to appreciating the ocean.
Nice.
First, he's like so much sand, but
Where's he from?
He's from Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Okay.
The New York/Paris of South America. So he's always grown up around concrete and city noises and loud things, and which is very cool.
He's adjusting well.
He is adjusting well.
You've met General Carl Adams that at the Carter House. He's a surgeon at St. Joe's.
Yes,
thoracic surgeon, amazing guy. So he's one of our Humboldt heroes, and he likes to stay at the Carter and enjoys good fine wine, and then tells a lot of stories. He does. And he's actually 27 deployments. Oh. If you find 5 or 6, you're major. But he's 2-star general. He's quite a guy. Anyway, he said if I had to travel somewhere, he goes, I'd go to South America. It's got all the elements of Europe, but it's less money. It's fun. And there's a lot of other foods, and it's not Euro pretentious. He had some opinions that I won't repeat, but that Joan and I would definitely like to go to Peru and Argentina and go see that. That'd be fun.
I just want to go all the places.
Is the wine? The wine's good there
wonderful.
too, right? South America.
Yes.
Yeah. Decent wine. Okay. Good. Good to know. Check that box. Well, good job. You've checked all the boxes and you both win a prize, and we'll take those off camera if you don't mind.
Is my prize better than Steve's? I just want to know.
Yes, of course.
It doesn't matter what mine is. I'm going to donate it to the hospital. So.
You,
like a philanthropist.
You won.
So tell us one more time how to give back.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, we will be, doing more things like this, and just kind of our own little roadshow of going around to Rotary and Seroptimists and different events. But again, you can look on the website. You can search for St. Joseph Eureka Foundation is probably the easiest way.
Call your office directly?
Or you can call our office directly.
You want to plug that phone number for those who are going to write stuff down? Ready?
Sure.
Grab your pen.
It is 707-269-4200.
Ooh,
Callers are standing by.
Right. And operators.
And operators. Whoops.
Hopefully there's a lot of callers too. No, we'd love to promote that too. So, and then social media, we could cross-promote or learn more. And
we do have the Providence Humboldt Facebook group.
Would we see more posts coming forward too as you guys start to create more and more awareness?
Yes.
Cool. And those stories, the testimonials.
Yes.
And 100% right on that observation. Oh, medicine's broken. America's divided. How do you know that? Well, somebody told me. Did you do the research? No, I don't really know much about medicine in Humboldt. Well, you've come to the right people. Can we share a little bit? And so, perfect. Get curious, fill in my gap of knowledge, which seems to be shrinking actually at this point. So I like that. Learning more about you guys, what you're doing. So parting shots, anything from your...
I think I would just hit on something Heather mentioned earlier, which is the Women for Wellness portion. That is a low-cost, entry-level way to kind of really dive in and learn more for the ladies in the community. I'd really encourage that one. What's your membership? It's around 100 or so.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's $100,000 right there that's brought in collectively.
Wow.
And then what that group does is they'll have educational sessions once a quarter, every so often, where they'll gather and they'll actually hear from a practitioner or a doctor or Heather maybe, or someone in her office, and what that is. I think that is one. When people hear philanthropy, I think they're expecting big checks with big zeros and lots of commas and things like that. And every dollar really does matter. And I think that's one way that's really exemplified in our community there. So I think that's one, if you're not sure where to start as far as giving to the hospital or local healthcare and want to learn more about what local healthcare is, that's probably one of the easiest routes for the women in our community to really hear about.
You're saying start somewhere.
Steve.
Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely.
So do you perceive that people are, and I'm going to ask you the same question too, that people are giving here in Humboldt? That,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Extra generous. Everything I've heard.
In my day job, we participate in, pre-COVID, I think we were doing around 45 to 50 fundraiser dinners a year. Wow. So there's an endless number of nonprofits locally, and they each have their piece that they touch on. They're all important for that piece or whatever.
Sure.
I do think that what we're working on here is very, very broad, but it's amazing. You go to these events and dollars are flowing, and a lot of times it's a lot of the same people. And there's just an endless amount of giving that does happen here, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
As a community as a whole.
And the generosity flows.
People here really care. And I like that you talked about the big check with all the zeros, because we often ask people when they're considering a gift, an amount that is meaningful to you. And I truly mean that, because what comes from your heart, and depending on the capacity that you might have to give, you shouldn't assume that you can't contribute something. Right. I mean, we have people send in $25 and they send a note that's like, this doctor meant so much to me. And that's incredible. I mean,
that's cool.
Just the spirit of
cheerful givers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Not that we're not opposed to the 5 million.
We do like the zeros. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it all adds up. It's collectively taking care of our community together. Right. And that's something that Humboldt excels at.
So if I wanted to do a meaningful gift, is it something that you possibly might come to a gathering of, I don't know, givers, philanthropists, generous people?
It can be through an event like that, or just contacting the office directly.
Absolutely.
Or you would have a meeting at your office or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. We would have a meeting at my office or out, or with some other officers on our staff. And
gotcha.
And we do fundraising events throughout the year. We'll have our Destination Humboldt Gala in June, and Redwood Memorial. We have a golf tournament in October, and the benefit ball in November. And both of those have been going on for many, many years.
And I think there's one other event too that we don't always highlight enough, is we have a legacy lunch that's happening next week. So sometimes folks aren't in a position today to write that check, but they still understand and really want to participate in this, that there is planned giving. So we have folks that will meet with Heather or planned giving officer and really make the hospital part of the estate plan. So I might not be able with my cash flow to write a check today, but as part of my legacy when I'm gone, I'm going to leave a portion of my assets to the hospital. I think that's a piece we don't always in these type of forums touch on.
Yeah.
It's not always an easy conversation to have that, because, you're planning for the end, right? And that's not always easy to talk about. But I think that is one event we have next week. That's a fairly small event, but it is a lunch just to honor those that have put the hospital into their estate plan.
Right.
Gotcha.
And talk about a meaningful gift. I mean, when you look at a need and say, I want to leave a legacy when I'm gone, that ensures care for people. It's really
there are other
beautiful.
venues to give to besides just the check or the legacy. Is there estate giving where you could?
That's what we're talking about right here.
Yes.
But maybe pre-estate, if I wanted to divest a home now and a reverse mortgage. I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, but we did, and we have people who specialize in that. So if it's something that you are interested in and you called the office, we do have a planned giving officer who can.
So I have a 52 Jag and it's worth $1 million. I imagine you could help me
we can help
something
you.
out. Yeah. So resources come in all forms.
People might be surprised what they
I have 9 kids. Are you interested in some of them?
Well, we're always hiring.
Actually.
We're always hiring.
Oh,
we
good
do.
answer. Good
we
answer.
do need a healthcare workforce.
Micah could bench 450. He's amazing.
We'll find him a job.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, thanks for coming, you guys. Any parting shots?
Thank you.
That you wanted to, anything?
I was just trying to work a way into the conversation that I could ding the bell, but
here, I'm going to slide the bell your way.
Well, I don't want a charity bell.
No. You can.
Okay.
You'll take it.
I'll take it. I'm going to say,
and you
Steve is 100% Humboldt, and I'm ringing the bell on that.
Here we go. Oh, you got one more. Louder.
Better. Oh,
wow.
Can't even ring a bell. Okay.
Move it towards you.
I'm competitive, and you can't even pull that off.
I think it's at a bad spot. Here, slide it that way. Just
appreciate your Okay, now it's just humiliating.
Nope.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
Here.
No.
Well,
I don't need it.
he's going to try it before we go.
As soon as you turn the camera off, yeah.
Anyway, thanks for coming, you guys. Appreciate
Thank you,
learning
Scott.
about all this and wanting to hear more and expecting that coming into 24, you guys are going to be out there and we're going to be learning more. And
don't hesitate to hit Heather up in her department.
Absolutely.
Okay. One more time, phone number.
Thank you. 269-4200.
4200. And email if you wanted to reach you. Is that something you want public?
Sure. It is heather.setton, Setton, at providence.org.
.org. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stephen, for coming.
Not a problem.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Happy
you,
to be here.
Stephen.
And thanks, Heather. Have a great day.
Thank you, Scott. You too. Thanks for having us.
Have a good one. Bye.